Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. This video comes at a request/question by a patron on my Patreon page. This gentleman had asked if I ever watercolored on any other surface besides paper. For example, canvas, gesso board, etc. I had not, but it rang a bell with a conversation that I had with Joe Menza about a year or two ago. And he recommended a primer called Watercolor Ground. I had never gotten around to purchasing it, and like I said, this rang a bell, so I went ahead to buy this so I can cover this for the Patreon page and for those of you on YouTube. Whenever you guys ask me a question, I always try to answer it, and if there's ever any subject matter or anything you'd like me to cover, let me know and I'll do the best of my ability. So please keep the questions coming and keep the ideas coming. I really appreciate it. Anyway, so Joe Menza, he has a video up of, I believe he used this on canvas and he had painted on top of that. So I'm going to try to link that down below so you guys can see him. Joe Menza is a great guy and has some really fantastic tutorials. I moderate a Facebook page with him called the Ranson Disciples, where we all paint in this fast and loose style. So definitely check him out. So back to this. Watercolor Ground. So there's a few different brands that produce Watercolor Ground. I went with the Daniel Smith one due to Joe's recommendation. Comes in a lot of different colors. Anything from clear to iridescent to titanium white, and I think there was even black, yeah, Mars black, buff Titan, etc. I could link the Daniel Smith description down below as well if you're interested in it, because they have a lot of information. I'm going to kind of just glaze over it. I guess that's a watercolor pun, right? So anyway, a little bit before we look at that information, price-wise, I bought this off of Jerry's Artorama for about $17 for the 16 ounce. Blick had it for the same price. Amazon had it for I think $21 or $22 for Prime, free shipping. So if you're going to place an order for $35, $45 worth of art supplies from Blick or Jerry's Artorama to get free shipping, obviously this is the way to go, because that's a tube of paint that I was able to save and buy with that extra money right there. Okay, so it has all the different, and there's also different sizes, like a 4 ounce, I believe, but figured we'd try it out. They have a long list of items that this could cover: wood, canvas, fabric, glass, metal, plastic, stone, etc. They do talk about how some porous material, you can go directly to it, application-wise, or you can, if it's a metal or something like that, you can scuff it a little bit so it adheres a little bit better. So you're essentially applying a primer when you're doing this. Archival and acid-free, which is like super important. That's a really big thing for me. Creates a soft absorbent surface similar to cold-pressed watercolor paper. So I'm going to do some side-by-side comparisons on different types of paper and different surfaces. It holds up to vigorous scrubbing. I don't scrub that much, but we'll test it in that aspect. Another thing when I was looking through this was repair and rescue paintings, where you can utilize it as kind of a whiteout for a painting. So if you're having difficulty or you make a mistake, you can cover up. So I have some paint out and we'll cover it up and we'll see how that works. Application, they had talked about just a soft hair brush, or I'm just going to use this kind of little sponge art craft. Curing, let cure for 24 hours. So I'm going to film this, the application, just so you can see, and you can see the coverage, and then I'll come back with a second video in 24 hours. What else? Apparently it works well with, okay, thinned acrylics. That's weird. It creates a surface more absorbent than paper. you'll want to use less water with your paint. Okay, so it might affect our application. And you guys know how much water I use in the beginning. And then they have their videos as well. They have a whole bunch of hashtags. Okay. So I think that's enough background information for you all about this. But let me know. There's instructions right there. I have this 100% cotton paper. I have this 25% cotton paper. This is the Fabriano 25%. Fabriano Studio, I believe. I have some wood, cartridge paper, which is printer paper. I have a little piece of paper from kind of like my planner. So we could try that out if you wanted to do a little art inside your sketchbooks or anything like that, or if you have a personal journal. A piece of envelope if you wanted to paint something you're sending in the mail, and a piece of cardboard. I'm not going to cover metal or ceramic or anything like that, but if you guys want that, let me know in the video, in the comments down below, and I'll try that out. So let's just check application. They say best straight from the tube. And we'll kind of do half and half. We'll see how well it applies. This, of all things, is the Jerry's Artorama box it came in. And don't worry, the cat's had a few days to play with the box. And obviously, the texture of the material I'm going on is affecting my application. So that's one coat on cardboard. We'll give that one 24 hours to dry. You can see we see a little bit of the surface underneath. I don't want to apply it any thicker than that. This is fountain pen ink that will be covering up. I am wondering if 2 coats are required. No, we're getting that covered now. It's hiding it. So this is just paper from a daily planner. I wrote down different things to paint and cover in videos. Once again, feel free to always ask, and I will try to cover any subject matter. There's some more wave stuff that I have to cover for the Patreon group. But, you know, there's a lot of different things that I have on my mind, painting-wise. So if I don't get to something that you asked, you can, of course, politely remind me. We're taking the powerlifting team that I coach with, the high school team, to state. And that's going to be a 3-day thing this week. And then next month, so that's envelope. And next month we are hosting collegiate nationals for and junior nationals. So they did a combined meet for that. And my buddy put in the bid 2 years ago, and spending a lot of time preparing for that competition. I'm doing the scoring and the displays and whatnot. And it's just a lot of preparatory work. Checking qualifying totals, getting all the information together, flight breakdowns, etc. That's a set up on a Wednesday, pack up on a Sunday. But once those 2 things are done, I'll have a lot more free time. And then work will be out for the summer, near the end of May. being a school teacher. Okay, so this is cartridge paper. One thing I'm noticing with some of these is that it is causing a wrinkle effect, as if we were to apply water. I don't know if that wrinkling is showing up, and I wonder if it will dry flat. I'm not adding any water to this ground, so we'll see. Okay, let's put this right here. Okay, this is the experiment to see how it is coverage of paint. We got phthalo blue, which is really strong. So if we wanted to use it as a whiteout, I wonder if you could kind of like use it as a more spot treatment. I think it picked up some of the pigment, which I am not a fan of that happening. I'm gonna have to go wash this brush, or at least smeared some of that paper. That's weird. Okay, so we'll come back to this in 24 hours. Let's see. This is 100% cotton paper right here. Okay, I don't think it picked it up onto the brush. It just kind of smeared that phthalo blue. Okay. So there it is on that 100%. I don't think it's necessary that we use this piece. Oh, we could do it on the back. We could just do a strip and we can compare it on the one to the other. We can kind of scrub and scrape. So this is the 25% cotton Fabriano. And last but not least, we'll apply this to some wood, and then I'll sign off. And after, yeah, let's do that. And then about 24 hours, I'll come back and paint on the surfaces, and we'll see how they compare. Okay, it applies really well to wood. That is probably what I'm the most impressed with, because we saw the buckling on some of the other paper, which hopefully we'll see it flatten out. But the wood application is very nice. So we could like paint, watercolor painting on top of wood, and then apply a protecting spray on top, which they recommend in on the Daniel Smith page. So, as I wrap this up, please consider liking, subscribing, and following. I do have a Patreon link down below. Check out Joe Menza's video. Check out the Daniel Smith page. I'm not paid or given anything by Daniel Smith, but I mean, check that out. And yeah, I have a few other videos I need to get filmed today. And of course, let me know what you want to see. That should be big enough to do a little painting on. Alright, so I'm going to sign off, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.